this kind of combination of all these things that combined to allow you to do the job that you want to do. So I'm going to try to cover as much of it as possible. And I really, I have some videos. I really want to keep it somewhat loose to make sure that each one of you leaves this meeting saying like, yeah, that was worth my 2 hours of time, because we're all busy and we can't just hang around on Zoom all day, waste our time. I want it to be productive. It'd be awesome if you want to show your face and, you know, let your video, turn your video on. Obviously, no need, you don't have to. So I will dig in and I'll do some screen sharing. If there's any technical difficulties on your end, if you could just use the chat, you can just open your chat window and feel free to share your resources with the group as we proceed through the presentation. So going to share my slide. Okay, I'm Robert Trent. This is the slideshow. I'm just showing a little bit about what we're going to cover. Sorry, there's some people I need to let in. Okay, so a lot of it is not just, it's not just the tools, it's understanding of what your platform is and who your audience is and the culture of that platform, which is more of like a higher level understanding about what's going on. It's not just tools, it's very practical in that sense. Advertising, boosting, I'm not going to go into all the different platforms. I'll focus mostly on just Facebook, and then Twitter is pretty much the same, and all the platforms are, you know, I can't possibly teach all the ins and outs of it in this time. I'll give you an overview of that. Analytics, what's to do with the data, experimentation. My big thing is editorial calendar, so that's a personal favorite of mine, so we'll dig into that. Okay, something a little bit about a Toolbox, a quote. I love it that it's just your utility belt. So you need to have a nice utility belt, and this is what we're going to build for yourselves. And it's going to be customized based on whatever your goals are. So everyone has to have a good understanding of their audience or audiences. I market to women that are 50 to 65 that like golf, and teenagers that are just learning golf. Or, you know, you might have a couple of audiences. You have to know who those audiences are and how to speak with them or to them, and which platforms they hang out on. So in that example of 65-year-old women are probably on Facebook, and the teenagers might be on Snapchat or Instagram or TikTok. And if you want to sell to them online and social media, you got to go there where they hang out. And in this same scenario, the language we use on TikTok is going to be way, way different than on Facebook, and your audience is totally different. And then of course there's an etiquette. You might know this, but texting, you're not supposed to use periods. Like if you use a period to a teenager, that's rude in the texting. And I didn't know this for the longest time. So I would just use periods because I was taught that you're supposed to put periods at the end of sentences, but you're not supposed to do that. So if you're communicating to your audience through like, Messenger or something, and you're using periods, not good. Anyone else have any examples of that? Just put it in chat. I think it's funny. I like always asking my kids, like, what's the latest lingo? What's the latest slang? The other thing to really remind yourself of is that you are not your audience. A lot of times people, especially let's say craftspeople, like I make purses, I make whatever you make. I make birdhouses, and I love this birdhouse because this is what I love, and this is my style, and this is what I like, and this is what I use it for, and this is how, this is how I use it, and these are all the features I want. And if you listen to your audience and see who's buying your product, they may not be you. They may not like your product for the same reason. So in targeting your audience, you have to kind of be a little bit more expansive and thinking about who is going to buy your product. And that will reflect, again, what platform you're on, what language you use, what images you use, your sales pitch. All of those things are affected by your audience, who your audience is, and not who you are. Although many businesses start because you're authentic and you love what you do, and that really needs to come out in your product and services, but it may not be why they buy. And that's really what we're talking about here is, why are these people gonna buy your product? Why are they gonna like your brand? So I am going to play a video, and this is where the technical stuff might come in. And if for some reason you can't hear the video, just put it in the chat, let me know. But this is, again, back to my my daughter. I'm like, hey, she's just graduating high school right now. And she told me what a Visco girl is. So anyone have any idea what a Visco girl is? Okay, it's a subculture. It's for junior high school girls, and it's really it's a photo app really for Instagram. Visco is a photo app for Instagram, but there's a whole culture around it, and this will just be a little fun thing to share.
Girl chat. Visco girls are taking over the internet, but what are they? So the term Visco girl is everywhere, and if you're sitting there wondering what the hell that means, have no fear. We're going to break it down for you. First of all, being a Visco girl is not just a fashion trend, it's a lifestyle. Urban Dictionary defines Visco girl as the Tumblr girls of 2019. You'll probably catch them wearing a scrunchie, tube top, puka shell necklace, white Vans, or Birkenstocks. And don't forget the Hydro Flask to finish off the look. By the way, to clarify, Visco is a photo editing app. You can edit your photos to suit your Instafeed's aesthetic by using their curated filters. But the people over at Visco didn't create the trend. They credit that to the teens who use the app. A major part of the Visco girl lifestyle is being environmentally conscious, which is totally awesome and should stay trendy forever. Reusable water bottles, specifically Hydro Flasks, and only reusable straws, most likely metal, are the acceptable way of consuming beverages for Visco girls. To transport their important belongings like a sticker-covered laptop, Polaroid camera, and backup scrunchies, you'll see Visco girls carrying a Kanken backpack, which, fun fact, was originally designed for Swedish school children in 1978. How they ended up here is a mystery, but I'm thinking they're probably thrilled. Since part of being a Visco girl is wearing specific brands and fierce loyalty to those brands, the laid-back, casual, I don't care vibe actually ends up being fairly pricey. I mean, just purchasing Birkenstocks runs you around $100 at least. Fox Business broke down the minimum budget for a Visco Girl lifestyle and totaled the cost at $229.89. Oh, Visco Girls are also known for using some pretty specific phrases. To clarify, those were and I oop and also which Visco Girls did not originate, but use a lot. So who inspired this trend? The look hasn't been traced back to one specific person. It pulls elements from 90s fashion, surfer girl culture, and popular stores like Brandy Melville. YouTuber Emma Chamberlain is often referenced as Visco Girl Fashion Inspo, but I don't think she asked for the title. Popular YouTubers like Kristen McAtee, Sierra Schultze, Grace Helbig, and My Family, just to name a few, have all taken on the challenge of becoming Visco Girls, which actually inspired our very own Jocelyn and Lily to give it a shot.
What does one do when they're in their 30s and aspiring to become a Visco girl? Like, I think I'm a Visco lady because, like, in your 30s, are you a Visco girl? Like, is my mom?
I think calling us Visco ladies is
Great, time
cool.
to get started. Get your hydro flask.
So yeah, pick a hydro flask, pick a scrunchie, and then go from there.
Okay, great.
I'm panicking.
If you want to see their transformation, be sure to head over to Share Channel because it was truly impressive. So to recap, if you want to be a Visco girl, grab your Birkenstocks and go for it. There are no rules. Just make sure you stay on brand. All right, you guys, that's all I have to share with you today. Hopefully you all feel like Visco experts now. If you consider yourself a Visco girl, please share some more of your wisdom with us down in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe. When you're done with all that, be sure to head over to Shared Channel and let Jocelyn and Lily know what you think of their transformation. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring. You can follow me on socials at Fiona Zaring, and I'll see you guys next time.
Okay, so sorry about that, it being so loud. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I'm still getting a hang of this whole Zoom thing, as you can tell. Okay, so that video, by the way, had over 1 million views, 1.1 million views. And the thing I'm trying to think about with that is, or I want to communicate with that is, let's say you were the water bottle company and your business was water bottles. But here is a trend. I want to sell to, I want to sell to younger folks because I know if I get them associated and loving my brand now, then when they're 30, when they're 40, when they're 50, they're going to be buying my product. And that's hot. It's a hot market, and I want to sell to them. So you're going to go to the platform, whether it's Snapchat or it's Instagram or it's that's Renette. That's our mayor. Say hi to the class. Come on, Renette.
Hi guys, hi everyone. I'm a working mayor.
She's working here, so there'll be a little stuff going on in the background. We're trying to get the co-working space open, and Renette's helping out. Okay, so you have these water bottles, and you're trying to market to younger people. So you go find them, and you use the, because that's their language, right? That's their, you gotta make sure you know what you're doing. But also water bottles, obviously, like let's say the Sierra Club is also a target audience for your water bottles, and they don't hang out on TikTok or Snapchat. They hang out on Facebook and maybe Twitter, and they're not going to respond to teenage slang. They're not going to respond to like be cool. They're going to respond to save the planet or whatever. You have to figure out what that message is for your audience and go hang out on the platforms that your audience hangs out on. And you may say, okay, my water bottle is all about sustainability, but you may find that some people buy the water bottle that has nothing to do with sustainability. They're tired of their whatever breaking all the time, and their 7-Eleven Big Gulp spills all over their car, and they want something that doesn't let their 7-Eleven Big Gulp fall. Like, okay, you have to really be open to who your audience is, where they hang out, what message you're trying to, what message you're going to communicate to them. So let's go back to the presentation for a second. All right. So what's inside a Toolbox? You have to have your skills to do it, and you have to really be willing to hire people and know when to reach out for help. There's tons of people out there that will do it. It's probably more expensive than you want it to be. The idea that I'm going to find a teenager that knows about social media and that I can pay $10 an hour to, forget about it, pretty much. That's a hard way to go. And some people charge up to like $50 a post, and you think, oh, that takes 3 minutes. Well, it doesn't take 3 minutes. You're not doing it, and you need it done. So you got to find the right person. But what the best thing to do is know what you're doing, understand the concepts, and then teach them like, hey, this is what I expect, and now I'm going to hire you to do it. But you do have to have your basic knowledge. And one great way to instruct someone on how to do something you want them to do, in this case, is to find like 3 or 4 social media businesses that you think do a great job and say, I want to look like them. Do what they're doing because I love them. And it doesn't even have to be in your market sector. So there's a social media dashboard. This is going to make your life a lot easier if you're doing the heavy lifting yourself. It's in one place. You can have Twitter and Instagram and Facebook all in one place. An editorial calendar is where you plan out your month or your week in social media, so you're not every day going, I should be posting, oh gosh, I didn't post. Let me just share something and then run away from my computer real fast and not pay attention to any likes and any engagement. Real-time media monitoring. For when I do businesses, I set things up in Google. So if someone mentions one of my businesses, boom, I get an email alert. So-and-so was mentioned, your business was mentioned in this publication on social media. And so I know if someone says, I think Sierra Commons, that's the co-working place I work at, is great, I know, go back there and like thank them, or if they have a question like, I wonder if they have any space available. Yes, we have space available. I get immediate notification. Or also if something, I bought something from this guy and it sucks, I also want to be right on that and know that, it's damage control. Because if you let that go too long, it's damaging. Graphics, there's graphic tools. We've all seen really, 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 really horrible graphics on social media. It's not the best. It's a very visual medium. A bad graphic would get more views than no graphic at all. It's a tough balance to strike, but luckily there's some tools out there that I'll tell you about that can make your life easier. And social media, you can say you could share a post, someone else's post, and maybe make a little comment and throw a hashtag on there. But really, what's going to get you to bubble up from the crowd is creating valuable content. If a simple way, you just saw that video I showed, 1.2 million hits, and you could tell that video was done by an expert. It took a long time. It was short, but effective. And you may not have all day to do a video, but you could just bust out your phone and hit live and live stream, One of your fellow students is having a big event tomorrow. They're moving their whole business model and taking it mobile. Bust out your phone. This is our first day in our new location, and check this thing out, and interview people and make it 2 minutes or 3 minutes. The platforms love live video. They will send you to the top. You will get lots of interaction, and that live video, after you're done, after you hit end, it's still up there and it's still a video. Don't worry about if it's low quality. Other great content is surveys, contests. People love top 10 lists, best 3, whatever. I was just looking for an electric chainsaw. Best electric chainsaw. Boom! I got this list of things. It was super valuable to me, and I also knew that every link I clicked on that, if I bought something, the person that wrote that blog would get money. So valuable content, super important. Integration. So right now, let's say you do an event. If I did an event on a platform called Eventbrite that allows me to sell tickets, I can connect my Facebook account with my Eventbrite account. I don't have to recreate 2 events. And then once I'm in Facebook, someone comes to my Facebook event page and wants to buy a ticket, they can buy a ticket right from Facebook, and it goes to the system through Eventbrite, and it tracks all of that. So that's like, you can get different systems to talk to each other. And then if there's industry, if you're a contractor and there's 3D modeling tools or other specific tools for your industry, you can look at that as well. If you want to unmute yourself and ask some questions, please feel free to do that. And if not, just move on. Okay, so the number one thing, if you could get away with this class, the most important thing, put this up front, is to get a Google business listing. And so can I just raise your hand, or just let me know if you all have a business Google listing? Some of you do. Yeah, some of you don't. Okay, so it's, number one, it's free. And I'm gonna just show you a little bit about the benefits of that. Okay, so I did a couple pre-searches. So right here, I searched, you can see in the Google search, Sierra SBDC. They're the people that are the organization that's putting this class on. And it's a very specific search. I am looking for this business. And you'll see that they come up first in the Google search, and this is called organic search. They come up first. But what I really want you to concentrate on is this area over here on the right, where it is a lot of real estate on this screen. And it gives me a link to the website. It gives me directions. I can save it. You have to be logged into your Google account to do this. It has hours. You can ask questions. And so this, in a way, it is interactive and social in a way. There's also these pictures. Some of these pictures are from Google Maps and the whole Big Brother Google taking pictures of everything. But you also have an opportunity to upload your own pictures. But this is really where it gets more social. is that there are the ability for you to do reviews and your customers to do reviews. And, you know, Google is the big player, obviously, in search, and it could make or break your business. And if you're in a business like a flower shop, and there's 7 flower shops in town, you better come up on top or near the top. And one of the ways you do that is to get good Google reviews. And so I've begged customers to do Google reviews, because it's a validation. Google's like, okay, all these people are saying, yep, they do what they say they're going to do, and they do it well. And here are these testimonials, and they know it's not like they just know, they're very smart, that it's not you didn't pay 500 people overseas to give you a 5-star rating. They have ways of knowing that that's what you're doing. So if you're a local business and you have locals review and they're high reviews, Google's going to say, yeah, someone's looking for flowers, they should go to this store. We're going to put them on top because they're all about flowers. So here, I could write a review on SBDC. I'm going to give them a 5-star, and I could post a picture. And then it takes me right to the place, and it shows me the reviews. So this is actually a client of mine, Waking Crow Studio. So boom, he reviewed SBDC. I'm done. It shows my review here. So you get businesses to do that. It's fantastic. It's free. It's fantastic. Also, if you claim your business profile on Google, and I'll show you how to do that, you can say, here's my Twitter channel, here's my Facebook channel, you know, here's my social media platforms. And then on a maybe not so positive side, it'll show your competitors. You know, with the SBDC, they're probably fine. Like, you know, they want you to go to some of these other places. But if you're the flower shop and it shows the flower shop the next corner down, you might be like, I'd rather not have that happen. So I'm going to give you another example here. And I'm talking flower shops. So I did, you can see the search here, flower shop, Nevada City. And even though I said Nevada City, it came up with Grass Valley right here. So notice on the left-hand side, there's an ad. So florist, Nevada City, fresh flowers, I can tell. Blossom flower delivery. I probably, by doing this, and if I clicked on this link, I would probably cost blossomflowerdelivery.com $1.25, because they're paying Google to put that ad on top. And flowers is it's an expensive keyword to advertise on Google. If you had some specialty item, you know, RV pop-up camper latch, it's probably not going to be as expensive to advertise. Flowers, it's expensive. Another ad, you can see another ad right here. And some categories, there's lots and lots of ads. And if you're haven't done a lot of search engine optimization and you haven't signed up for claim your business listing, you're not going to show up here. But Grass Valley Florist not only shows up on the right-hand side and has a huge amount of real estate on this page, you'll see Foothill Flowers is next on the organic side. Yelp is huge. And their Foothill Flowers has managed to be above Yelp. That's pretty impressive. But if you look back over here on the right-hand side, and also keep in mind that most of the people are going to be looking for this on the phone. They might be in their car. They're supposed to be hands-free. And it's like, I want directions. They click it, and it just, their phone just is like, turn left on East Main Street. It just does it. It makes it super easy, and people can save it. You can see that the Grass Valley Florist has a 4.7 rating with 64 Google reviews. They've been around for a long time. So there are some questions, but this is something that SBDC doesn't have, and it'll show the hours and when it's busiest. A grocery store might be a good example of something that would be interesting for me. Like, I want to go shopping when there's no one shopping there right now because I don't want to be around a bunch of people when I'm grocery shopping. And so it tells you when it's most popular, and they do this through their Big Brother tracking people and all that stuff. I could send, if I'm not on the phone, if I'm not on my phone, I could send it to my phone. Yeah, I could see these reviews. It's wonderful and it's free. So if I just did flower shop, I'm going to do another search and just say flower shop. And you'll see that, it wasn't specific to Nevada City, although this computer knows that I'm in Nevada City, but it thinks I'm in Yuba City because of the internet, just the way the internet works. So it doesn't know exactly my location. So it doesn't give me that Google listing over here. It gives me a bunch of ads over to the right, ads right here. And then it thinks I'm in Yuba City. So it puts me in Yuba City, and it gives me lists right here of flower shops in Yuba City. These florists, Country Florist, Flower Girl, and Yuba City Florist, all have Google business listings. They're showing up here. The ones that don't have Google business listings are not showing up here. Up at the top, 1-800-Flowers, again, they're spending $1 or so to be here. These guys are spending money to be there. Country Florist, right here, third on the list, is spending $0 to be here. So I think you probably I'll probably hammer that in good enough. So on the, when you log into your business, and you can just see the URL up here, business.google.com. And I think I have a link in the presentation. You'll get the presentation, the PowerPoint presentation, and the links are clickable. If you see a picture in my PowerPoint, most likely you can click on it and it'll go somewhere. So there's all kinds of links in the presentation. So, so this is where I manage my Google listing, and they have this big thing right here about COVID-19 updates, and lots of businesses are closed and that kind of thing. I can update my hours. Another cool thing is if you do want to give Google your money and advertise, you they always are like, here's $100 ad, here's $100, here's another $100. They really, really, really want you to advertise now. Their ad dollars are going down. And I will say that you may have to put a credit card down, but not spend any, you don't have to spend any money to get this. That's, you know, I'd prefer not to have to do that, but that is the case. It tells me, because of Google, I got almost 2,000 views because I did this. The searches, activities, what's going on. I can see 2 weeks ago, we got a review from John Lamont, 5-star review, awesome. I should have said, hey, John, thanks so much for giving us a 5-star review. That's my bad. You could do virtual tours. They're providing all of this stuff to help me. This is what my competitors are doing. Here are posts that my competitors are doing. They're guiding me to do that. I can, and I feel like my listing is fairly complete, and they're telling me it's only 55% complete. You can have, like, here's a photo section. I can add photos, videos, but I have quite a few photos. There's a 360-degree photo. They, you know, if you really get into it, they're like, the more you post photos, the more you get raised on top of your competitors. They like fresh content. If you do this Google listing and you just let it be stale and there's nothing happening there, then you're not, you don't rise to the top. Okay, so I'm gonna see that there's a question. How do you respond to negative reviews, if at all? I will say it depends on the platform. Something like Yelp is why I don't like Yelp, is that they blackmail you. It's total extortion. You could have 100 5-star reviews and one 1-star review. They put the 1-star review on top. The first thing people see, they won't take it down. You could say, hey, listen, this is the flower shop down the corner being a jerk, and take this down. And they're like, yeah, give us $500, we'll take it down. So, you know, that's unfortunate. Some people say, and I don't know if this is true or not, but, you know, one bad review wipes away 10 good reviews, or 50 good reviews. Does a lot of damage. So you want to be nice as possible. We're so sorry. What can we do to make this up? You know, you could explain yourself away, but being confrontational is really, really, you'll lose. You'll definitely lose on that. You could barter. You could say, listen, I will replace your product, no charge. Please consider updating your review. You know. And one of the I'll just share this story. This was maybe 7-8 years ago at Sierra Commons. Someone from the public came to me with some business advice that it was something. It was something that just, in my professional judgment, was like not going to happen. Someone wanted to find a rich person to pay off their personal debt so they could move somewhere and do this business that was probably not even legal. And I was like, you know, I don't know. Like, to find someone to do that, that's, like, I don't know how I can help you here. And their takeaway was I was, insulting, and I crushed their dreams, and I was negative and defeating, and, I was trying to give solutions, but sometimes I had to say, like, that's not advice. I'm a business advisor. That is not the best path to take. And I got a 1-star review. And that is that. And I just really recognize the situation, and I'm like, that's going to be there. Yep. I'm not even going to put my energy into changing that 1-star review. I could put my energy into getting 10 5-star reviews. That's a win. I could do that. So sometimes you do have to cut your losses and just see it for what it is and say, I can't please everybody. If there's systematic bad reviews, then you really have to look at, take that into consideration. Maybe there is something I need to improve on. And then the other part is, if it's a competitor sabotaging your business, that has to be addressed at a different level. And that takes some politicking and some finesse, and possibly going to some of the platforms like Google saying, this is a problem, this is what's going on, work with me. And it's going to take a lot of your energy, but it's worth it. So Linda, I have unmuted you.
Hi.
Hi. You have a question?
Oh, did I have my hand up?
That might have been just a response from something I asked a while back.
Oh, it was. Sorry about that.
No problem, but I have you unmuted. You have anything to add or question?
Well, I thought the Google presentation was great. There was definitely some things there that I did not know about were on Google, but definitely could improve it. And as far as Yelp goes, oh my gosh, I can't agree with you more. In a previous business, we had, it was a health club, and we had a potential prospect that wanted to join, and we didn't want to give him all of the things that he wanted. And oh my gosh, he gave us such a bad review. But I do have to say that it took us a lot to contact Yelp and to get them to see that this guy was just not a quality person. And he had done it with other businesses as well. And they finally took the post down. I mean, it was like paragraphs long of negative review. So they were cooperative in that way. So
did they try to charge you money?
I don't recall that they did at that time. I mean, this has been years ago. Maybe things are a little different now, because they'd probably say, oh, well, if you advertise with us, so I don't know. But I just like Yelp as well. I feel like it's a site that encourages people to bash and give negative reviews.
Yeah.
So that's my take on it. I try not to subscribe to it too much.
Okay, thanks for that.
Sure.
Anyone else have any comments? Cool. Okay. Let's see what's next. Okay. Okay, so this is a social media dashboard. It's a way just to really get everything in a single spot. So you're saving time, you're being efficient. There's tools out there. You're probably going to be on more than one platform. So you get to monitor what's going on and respond. So really, in social media, especially for beginners, and this is totally fine, is that, okay, I'm going to make a post. People often start by sharing a post, and then they work into creating original content. And they're like, okay, I posted on social media. But really, the posting is not what you're going for. The actual interaction with the people, the conversation, it's social media. So it's the social aspect of it that is what you're going for. And that's where you get real conversations. Just like so many businesses, it's just like they do all of their marketing outreach to get someone to pick up the phone and call. Once I got them on the phone, I know I can sell them. I know I can make them a paying customer. And it's kind of the same way in social media. Is once you get them to say, oh, I really like your blue scarf. Does it come in green? Why, yes, it comes in green and red and orange and purple. What size do you like? You know, where do you live? What would you use it for? You're starting a conversation. You're learning from them. You're getting, you know, engagement. It's called engagement. So using a dashboard lets you track engagement, and you're not jumping around all these different platforms. So one of the ones I really like is called Hootsuite. This is a screenshot of Hootsuite. And I'll give you a hack on it for the free account. You can get 3 social media accounts on Hootsuite. Facebook is, Instagram is owned by Facebook. They talk to each other. You can post something on Instagram and have it automatically go to Facebook, but you can't do it the other way around. So if you set Hootsuite up with Instagram, let's say Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, you can get Facebook for free. So basically what Hootsuite does is you hook up your social media accounts, you give it full access to all of it, and then you can create your posts within Hootsuite. And you can say, show me what it looks like on Facebook, because you know the picture aspect ratio is different on Facebook than on Instagram. Although that's changing a little bit, but you know, posts look different on different platforms. So you can see what they look like on that platform. You can schedule them and say, on Monday, at this time, I'm gonna post on this platform. You could, you know, I do sometimes have different times that you post, because you can look from your analytics, and we'll get to that, the data, like, oh, Facebook, my people are on Facebook from 10 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon, so I better post then. But my LinkedIn people, they look on LinkedIn with their morning cup of coffee, and they're there. The CEOs are at work at 8 o'clock doing LinkedIn, so post then. With the paid account on Hootsuite, you get analytics. You can say this many people saw the post, this many people interacted. You can interact within Hootsuite. You can see reports. You can see all kinds of data. So I just love it. And there's all kinds of flavors of social media dashboards. I know that there's a question, which I can't see all the questions and everything at the same time, so excuse me. Actually, if you could just unmute yourself, that'd be wonderful. That would help me from fidgeting. And if not, I'll just.
So,
yeah.
oh, okay. So yeah, so can you use, so when we do share, okay, so when we do a Facebook post, we'll share it to different groups, like Grass Valley Peeps, Nevada City Peeps, and then like virtual shopping. Yeah. So can Hootsuite share a Facebook post that we create to these groups for us? or do we have to like go in and do that manually?
I think you have to do that manually.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good question. So Buffer is another popular one. They all have their own, flavors. Sprout Social is probably one of the most turbocharged dashboard, but you do have to pay for it. And CoSchedule is something that they really do a good job at creating an editorial calendar and the scheduling part of things. This is an example of editorial calendar within Hootsuite. I dig into editorial calendars. I have a whole presentation on that. So I'm going to give you the really quick spiel on editorial calendars. Is that a problem that a lot of small business owners have? Is, you're juggling all of these, you wear so many hats, you're juggling all these things. And some people are like, I'm not really good at social media, but I know I have to, or, obviously some businesses love social media, but wherever you are in that spectrum, there is this nagging, I should be, thing that business owners tell themselves. It takes a lot of time. And, especially if you're fighting technology, you're not sure you're doing it right. How come no one's commenting? I don't know what to post about. And so if you just are haphazard about it, it's like, oh yeah, I know I'm supposed to be posting 3 times a week. I'll post on Monday. Oh, the phone rings and then I'm off with my day. And then I didn't post. And then I feel guilty. And then I'm not, you get where I'm going with that. I'd imagine people can relate to that. So one best practice I'd like you to consider, and using one of these tools or just a spreadsheet even, is think about your business and think about your main messages, whether it's, your the cheapest one in town, you're fast, it's quality, or better yet, we make you feel wonderful, we bring vibrant, healthy living to your family, whatever your messages are. You could probably break it down into 3 things. It could be curbside pickup, healthy food, and international flair. I don't know what it is, but if you had 3 things, you could pick those 3 things and say, on Monday, every Monday this month, I'm going to make a post about quality. Every Wednesday, I'm going to make my post about speed. And every Friday, it's going to be about nutrition. Or, you get my point. Is like just, you take your 3 topics, and then at the beginning of the month, first Monday of the month, you could say, okay, I'm making my editorial calendar. I'm going to have 4 posts about topic 1, 4 posts about topic 2, and 4 posts about topic 3. You can think about, okay, let's say it's Thanksgiving, it's November. So I should have it seasonal, get your whatever ready for the company is coming, paint your house because your whole family is going to come and judge you. So you better your house painted, whatever those themes are, it's seasonal. So you can mix it up, but the messaging is you're still saying on target with your messaging. And with that, you've thought about your posts. You've grabbed your images for those posts. You have your hashtags for those posts. And with that, on occasion, you can say, and 20% off, and our spring clearance sale, and buy one, get one free. What businesses tend to do, especially when they just get on social media, is buy my stuff, 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 buy my stuff. And then you're like, why aren't people buying my stuff? And it's because you're just spamming them with ads about buying your stuff. You're not telling them about the product. You're not relating to them. You're not showing value in your product. You're just trying to make a buck off of them. And it doesn't feel good. And I'm sure you've all seen social media posts where you're like, I'm going to just not follow these people because they're just cramming their product down my throat, and it's very uninteresting, and they don't feel genuine. And if you do have a question, just unmute yourself and go ahead and ask. That'd be wonderful. Don't worry about interrupting me, because I could just blah 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 on and on.
Sorry. There
No
we go.
problem.
Yeah, no, just the comment that I made is that we found some historical photos of the store, of my family, for when my grandfather expanded the toy department and was building that. And people absolutely loved these historical photos. They just ate them up.
I saw that. It was the last, oh, no, not mining, the last metal, was that right? The last metal fabricator in the...
Yeah, he was the last one to use the miner's foundry as a foundry. To build things. So
yeah, that is super interesting. And something like that would be like, I could get that on from Amazon and deliver to my door, but I know it's not as good environmentally because of all the transportation, and I really want to support local business, and I love the Miners Foundry, and I love that this family has roots, and that place is authentic, and you know what? I'm going to drive to Grass Valley and pick it up from that store instead of buying on Amazon. Like, that kind of stuff works. But if you were just like, buy, it's like, these people are just in for the money. I need to save my money. I don't want to give them more money than I need to. I'm going to just buy it on Amazon. So that kind of stuff really, really, really works. And that was a great example. So thank you. So back to the editorial calendar, and please, just as a reminder, if you want to ask questions, just jump in. You have your month planned out. You've done a lot of the legwork. You've scheduled it. You know it's going to look good, and you could do this in a day. You could do it in a day, and then you have your social media calendar laid out. And of course, if if you sold flashlights and there was a power outage, you probably are going to need to change that up a little bit because something happened in the world that you need to be topical about. And of course, you can post additional things, but you can kind of put this part on autopilot, and the main goal, again, is to interact with people. It's the engagement. So you're spending your time throughout the month. Someone comments on your photo, then you strike up a conversation and you have fun. And that's what's fun to me, is that interaction. And that's really what your big job is. It's like, if you have a brick and mortar, you do everything in your power to get people to step in to your front door. I've been told a simple way to differentiate between sales and marketing is marketing is everything you do to get someone to step into your door. And once they step into your door, that becomes sales. So You know, in social media, you're doing everything you can to get someone to comment. And once they comment, then you're engaging with them, and that's what you're trying to do. So I love editorial calendars. I recommend it. There's lots of tools out there. Saves you time. Okay, I'm going to switch gears here. Advertising, boosting is super effective. In the old days, any fan of yours, any friend of yours on your business, and you posted something, it would go into their feed. Well, now it doesn't. You have to pay for it. It's something like 3, 5, you know, if you're lucky. So if you do something like Facebook Live, it might be 10%, it's more. But they want you to pay to get in the feed. And that reminds me of another critical thing about your social media toolkit is you absolutely must have a business page and not run your business on your personal page. So I can't emphasize that enough. I don't want to see your cat pictures if I'm there for your business. I don't want to see your kids graduating. I like your business, and your personal business is I'll be friends with you, sure, if we're personal, you know, if we're friends, but it's separate. And also having a business page allows you to do more expansive things with some of the tools and analytics that's available on these platforms. So very inexpensive to get your toes wet in advertising on any of the platforms. It's basically the same. I'm going to just go with Facebook because just like Google, they're the 500-pound gorilla. There's a lot of confusion about advertising and boosting. So a post is something like is you make a post and then it only shows up to a small percentage of the people that are your fans. You give Facebook money and they show it to more people as a post, but it's a boosted post. Super simple, easy to understand. And then you can also control your audience of who. I wanted to go to the women between 50 and 65 that drive sports cars, that read, you know, whatever, Popular Mechanics, whatever you think your audience is, that's who you would can target. And so boosting is your post that's boosting, and an ad has more control. So this last point is something like, if you see that a post that you made is going gangbusters, it's popular, you can throw some money in it and make it even more popular. You know, just by the social litmus test, that people like it and people are interacting. So it's got a lot of juice, and you can give it more juice by, you know, even throwing $10 at it. You can reach a wider audience. So advertising, oh, you see the graphic on the right where it says sponsored? That just lets people know, oh yeah, that's an ad. Facebook ads, it can show up on the right-hand side. It can show up in line with the feed. It can show up all kinds of places, and you can pick where that's gonna, your ad is gonna show up. You have a little bit more leeway on the graphics, and you get a little bit more analytics with the ad. This may be esoteric, and maybe too much for you, that's fine. If you have a business page, you can put your credit card in and just throw a little bit of money at it and see what happens. Here's a guideline as far as like why you might do an ad or boosting. And you may have, they're a little bit optimized for different things. People love videos. People love videos. Videos are popular. Live videos are popular. I saw some marketing data analytics of the major marketing advertising, the type of people that, do marketing for Coca-Cola and Levi Strauss, that kind of thing. And the money's disappearing for billboards. The money's disappearing for TV ads. It's specifically going to videos on social media. Because when people are watching videos and they click on a video on social media, it takes over the screen, and that's all, you have 100% attention on that. They really like that. And the analytics on video is just huge. What people watch, you've seen people scrolling, and I'm sure your thumb is going a million miles an hour. You're just zing, 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 zing on your phone, zipping through social media. Boom, I stop. People stop at videos, they watch the videos. But when you put your credit card down, there's this scary thing that, oh my gosh, they're gonna you owe us $1 million because we ran wild with your ad. But what you need to make sure you do is put a spending limit on your ad campaign. And it's good. The spending limit is good and on multiple fronts. One, obviously, your credit card bill doesn't go crazy, and you don't spend more money than you intended to. But another advantage to it is you can experiment with what works. You can look at your analytics. And in the analytics, which is just a bunch of data, it will say, of this many people that saw it, this many people clicked on it. They saw it at this time of day. The people that did click on it saw it this time of day. There was this much interaction. This many people shared this. On and on and on and on. Google, when you advertise with Google, they're like, this is how much this person makes. This is, their political leaning. This is, all their shopping habits. It's super scary. It's super scary, the level of detail. It will tell you about the people that look at your app, how long they stayed, where they go after, what website they went to after they looked at your ad. But with that, you can find out a lot of information. It also makes you realize that you need to throttle down your privacy setting, your own personal privacy settings. Google, because if they're showing you that much information about other people, they're getting that on you too. But if you spend $10, $20 on an ad, and you're like, oh, that one didn't work, tank, okay. Well, I guess my assumption about who my audience is wrong. Well, maybe it's this audience, maybe it's that audience. Until you start seeing the results you want, you can experiment, and it doesn't cost you a lot of money. So on that theme of, any questions too, please feel free to ask. On that theme of experimenting, there's something called A/B testing, where you can create an ad, and one would be the control group, and you put $10 on that, and you're like, okay, I'll go back to women that are between 50 and 65 that like golf. And you're like, I wonder if men between 50 and 65 like golf. And I'm gonna, put a picture of a couple dudes playing golf instead of a couple women playing golf. You're gonna mix it up a little bit. Or you could do the same ad and change the time of day. Or you could do the same ad and change the headline. You could do the same ad and say, this one is 20% off and this other one is 30% off. You make some change. You don't make a lot of changes, but you make a change. And then you see which one performs better. And you usually see some fairly definitive differentiation. This also really works well with email marketing. Because as you probably know, the headline of the email, what you see in your inbox, is going to make a difference between whether you click or you don't click, open that email or don't open that email. So you can change your headline. So here's just some random examples. A could be yearly clearance sale on now. And then B could be 33% off all winter clothing. And in one way to do A/B testing is, let's say you had a list, your email list had 1,000 people on it. You could send headline A out to 15, 20 people, and headline B out to 15, 20 people. It should be the same amount of people. And then you could say, hey, there is a difference. B did better. So you change it up and make sure that the email B is sent out to the rest of the list. And you're going to get better open rate with that. You're going to get better click rate if you do the same thing with your ad. And so you can do A/B testing. You could say, I'm going to spend $10 on A, $10 on B, and then with the results, I'm going to spend $50. It's a way of increasing your effectiveness. So I'm going to do something here. And I am going to take a chance and hope that there's not a lot of background noise. I may regret this, but I just unmuted everybody. That's not going to work. So I'm going to move everyone back. Let's get some conversation going. If you have questions or suggestions, let's learn from each other. Anyone have some ideas, something to add? We'd love to welcome. Go ahead, Carol. You want me to unmute you, or you got it? I think you're trying. There you go.
We have a Crockett Tiles Facebook page, and I find the thing so daunting. I can't quite figure out just how to do it. I post things on it and I have it. I just pulled it up, but it's been a while, and there's some videos on it. But do you have a guide, or is there some suggestion to how to actually use it?
Yeah.
I pulled it up, and there's like all these analytics, all these things. I just want to not spend a lot of time on it,
A guide on how to use like Facebook Marketplace, or a guide on how to use the analytics?
Well, I don't even know that. I just have a Facebook for Crockett Tiles. I have my own page, and then I have a Crockett Tiles page. And when it comes to the Crockett Tiles page, there's all this stuff at the top. I don't know. It's just a dumb question, but.
Totally not a dumb question, and I have stuff on a little bit later in the presentation.
You do? Okay. Yeah, I'm curious.
Because it's super important. And I understand that it's complicated.
Yeah. And it's different from the regular Facebook. I mean, it's posting on the Facebook business page it seems to me like it's a completely different way of doing it. I don't know. Anyway, sorry.
Okay, we will for sure cover it, and it does bring up a point that many of you were in the e-commerce class, and the goal, we did a big class and try and get everyone selling stuff online, and Facebook Marketplace is one of the ways to do it, and they just made some huge changes, so I'm not up on Facebook Marketplace. I will say that for me, videos, you go to YouTube, how to, and this is one of the ways I sort through, because there's probably thousands of videos. I try to make sure that it's current, because things like they just did all these changes to Facebook Marketplace, so I don't want to watch a video from 2018 because I'm like, where is that darn button? Well, that button's gone, or it doesn't work anymore. So we're gonna have all information. There's a little help, help button on Facebook. Sometimes their videos are very helpful, or it's just like, go here, step 1, go here, click this, click, enter here. And you're like, oh, that's where that setting is. That's helpful. But back to YouTube, if it's a 9-minute video, forget about it. I don't, if it's something like how to place a Facebook ad, tell me in 3 minutes. That's really, I just want to, unless it's an advanced video. And also you can tell, so how recent it was uploaded and how many views it's gotten is a good lead in. I also, if it is, let's say, a 4-minute video or something, and the graphics look good, professional, and they have a lot of views, almost always you could take the slider and slide it a minute into the video. And they're like, all right, let's get to the point now. And the first minute is like, oh, welcome to my thing. Be sure to like and follow. And the last video was on this, and and you're like, just tell me what I came here for. So the first minute is usually a complete waste of time. Christy, I'm not sure what BRB is, if that was just a fun little thing, or but
means be right back.
Know that. I should know that. Okay, Susie, should I copy a post from the business Facebook page to my personal Facebook page? This is my personal page has many more followers than the business one. It's a tricky one. I think best practices is personal page is personal, business page is business. But Facebook is weird because you create a business page and you want to get followers on your business page and you want to invite people to your business page. They have to be your personal friend. And Facebook does that because if they didn't do that, then people could create a business page and then spam the world. So it's their way of, but it does make it more difficult. So if you're, I guess, if you're struggling because of the coronavirus and you need to get income and that's where the people are and it's really critical, I could understand doing it. Best practices would say no. I would prefer that you said, hey, personal friends, since you're actually my personal friends and we're friends, could you please like my business page? And get them over. You have a link, and you could incentivize them or whatever. Come like my page, come review my page. You know, when you come in, tell me that, you know, you did this and I'll give you 10% off. You could bribe them a little bit, but, you know, get them over there. But your personal page is your personal page. And I pick on cat pictures. I don't want to see your cat picture. I really don't. I don't want to see what your political views are. I don't want to see any of that. And you're limiting your audience because, yeah, the cat lovers are going to be like, oh yeah, I want to buy, you know, my yarn from you. But the not cat lovers just want to buy yarn, and that's that. So avoid it if you can. So Rod, I'm going to pick on you. How are you doing, Rod?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Awesome. What's your story? What are you doing that works? Got any questions?
Well, I have a question on return on investment.
Okay.
I work for a nonprofit, so we don't have any revenue to, you know, factor that in. So how do I calculate return on investment for a service that we do as a nonprofit?
As related to, is this more of a general business question, or is this a social media, like advertising question?
Advertising question. Social media outreach, all of those efforts. We have social media. We do events. We set up a booth, and all of that outreach effort.
Right. Okay. So I would set a goal, and that goal could be what kind of nonprofit is it?
Meals on Wheels.
Meals on Wheels. Awesome. Thank you for doing that work. It's important work.
Sure.
Your goal might be we want to provide more meals, or we want to deliver X amount of meals. Your goal might be we want to sign up 10 new recipients in a month. Your goal might be we need X pounds of food donated to us. Your goal might be raising money for a new delivery vehicle. You know, there's endless goals. So like outreach for the sake of outreach is awesome. You know, awareness campaigns everyone does awareness campaigns. But if you tied it to a specific goal, that really helps. So if, for example, we, you know, because of COVID, it's making our job harder. We need fill in the blank, whatever you need. By this day, you know, if it's time sensitive, that helps. Then you can gear your campaign around that and say, did it work or did it not work? Because otherwise it's just like, well, we didn't get much interaction. I don't know if it was worth it or not. I don't know if it worked or not. That's why people often say, like, how did you hear about us? Or if you have a coupon, did people use the coupon or not use the coupon? Did we get the face mask, you know, 1,000 face mask donations, or did we not? Did we reach our goal of $1,000 towards the new Sprinter van or not? So if there's a concrete goal, I think that really helps.
Terrific, thank you.
Yeah. There's something called a SMART goal. Maybe some of you have heard of that. And it's just a good technique when setting goals. Simple, we're going to get 10 new customers. Relevant, which is, are those customers relevant to your overall business goal? Measurable, 10, that's a number, 10, did we do it? That's smart. Oh, good, smart. Simple, measurable, achievable. If you're like, we're gonna get 10 new customers, and you're like, there's only 9 people here. How can we get 10 customers, Related to that, the R is realistic. If you said, we're gonna get 10 new customers in the next 30 seconds, that's not realistic. It's just not realistic. And T is time bound. So simple, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. There's different people use the acronym differently, but that's in general. So just set a SMART goal for yourself and see how it works. And the beauty about the social media is you could say, yeah, we can throw 20 bucks at this. But if you're gonna, advertise in the newspaper a print ad, it's $450 and you have no idea if it works or not, unless, say you heard about us at, or here's the coupon. It's really hard to track the effectiveness. So social media, you can do it inexpensively and quickly. Heather, you want to get picked on? You want to add something? Or could you please add something? Maybe Heather stepped away. Okay.
So I have kind of a question. So something we had talked about in the Igniter class last week was like deciding like how many times a week to post to Facebook or social media. And I think it was Erin, I think she said you really kind of have to decide that for yourself. But I don't know, I'm debating. So we've been posting like every single day during the time that we were closed, but now I'm thinking we need to just like ease up a little and maybe do like 3 or 4 days a week instead. I just didn't, I guess I'm just, maybe, I don't know. I guess if they're, I just feel like when I'm posting every day, it just feels like it gets annoying. And I was just wondering if there was like any insight or thoughts on that.
Okay, could you just share with everybody what your business is, and that goes for everybody.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So my family is Foothill Mercantile, and I'm not the owner, but I am. I'm her niece, and I'm kind of representing her on this. So during COVID, we were the main part of the shutdown. It's like we didn't have a website, and we were using Facebook to kind of reach out to our customers to be able to be able to do curbside pickup. Well, now that things have eased back a little bit, and now that we're open more, it just feels like less necessary to post every day.
Okay, so it sounds to me that there's assumptions you're making.
Okay.
I'm being annoying. Do you have any data to back that up? Or is that a gut feeling?
That's just kind of gut feeling, and it probably says more about me than anything else. And I've actually looked at like on Facebook, I've actually looked at like our unlikes, and there've been like 2 for the entire month of May. And then I've also looked at how much response posts have been getting, and there's some that have gotten, you know, 1 or 2 likes, but then, yeah, just the interaction on them have gone down as well.
Yeah, I guess that is an important sign. Only 2 on likes is not a big deal. It's a positive sign. The interaction, and I think that this is an important point to Grok. Said it a couple times about it's really about the engagement that you're going for. But if you're like new stock, you know, now we sell these pony dolls for just in.
Yeah.
As a viewer, like, oh, I guess they got new inventory. There's nothing for me to like interact with. I could maybe give a like, you know, but if it's like, what did your daughter name her pony? What's the cutest pony name out there? Oh, I'm gonna be like, you know, Basil, whatever. That's like, it gives me something. I'm connecting with the content. You've asked me something for input. You've led off with a question. You're inviting engagement. And so oftentimes there's no engagement because there's nothing to do. You haven't asked for anything. You haven't opened yourself up for conversation. And that's the thing you can get really creative about. How is the product used? How does it make the grandparent feel when they give it to their grandchild? It's a graduation present. You know, there's all kinds of ways you can go with that. But I haven't seen all your posts, so I'm not like, there's no way a critique, or I did see the post about the historical stuff, and I like that.
Yeah, and it was so much fun for us too, because it was like, oh my God, I had never seen most of those photos before.
Okay, actually now I'm remembering, and this is another trick, is I didn't see it on your page. Now that I think about it, I saw it on the Miners Foundries page.
Oh, okay.
They either reposted it or saw it and they're like, oh, that's about us. We're going to share this.
That's exactly what they did. Actually, they messaged us and asked if it was okay that they shared that. Okay.
So that right there is gold. That's total gold. Because the Miners Foundry, and for those of you who don't know, it's a big event center in Nevada City. It's very popular, very historic. They do a really good job on social media, and they have a lot of followers. And I'd venture to say they have more followers than your store.
Yeah.
And even if they didn't, let's say you both had 5,000 followers, they might be different people.
Yeah.
So instead of posting something like 20% off sale, which people, whatever, would see, maybe see, not interact with, you did juicy content about the history and the culture and the everything about the heritage of your store. So much so that a partner or a community member shared it to their people. You just got in front of 5,000 new people for free because you had awesome content that wasn't just buy. So if your content is that juicy, if you're all about, healing arts or shoe repair or whatever it is, I'll go with the shoe repair. And there's an artisan that makes, leather bracelets that is cool with the hipster crowd and just got in, I don't know, the New York Times or whatever, they're getting some play, and they have their own audience. And you could post something. Here's a local person who is making it big. We love seeing the tradition of leatherwork being carried on to the younger generation. Shout out to, and then you tag them. And, we support this, and, way to go. What does that say about your business? You're artisan, you're a craftsperson, you recognize good leather work, you support local businesses, you're hip, you're even, just by the fact that you know about this shows that you're plugged in. And you get to show a picture of a beautiful leather work that is different than a shoe being repaired. That's interesting. That's topical. You're reaching new audiences. And then all of a sudden, this hipster who makes bracelets is, who's got 20,000 followers, you tag them, now you're on their radar, possibly on their wall. Their followers are like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to get my boots fixed. I'm gonna go get them fixed. That's right by my house. That's interesting. And so I guess the point, and Ellen, what you brought to mind is, tagging other people, involving other people, reaching out and getting in front of their audience. You're casting a much wider net. And it's like, I have 100 followers. I'm going to keep on posting to my 100 followers without tagging other people or involving other people. It's going to really be slow to gain new followers. But if you have compelling content and you tag other people, you're going to reach a lot wider audience. So that's that. There's a question. I'd love to do contest on Instagram. There's no legal things about contests that I know of. Of course, I'm an SBDC consultant. I am not allowed to give legal advice. With that said, I have run contests, quite a few contests online. The queen of all contests is Erin Thiem from Outside In. So it's outsideinc.com. If you want to find that and find she does an annual contest. It's amazing. Gets lots of game on that. But you can do things. There's plugins and add-ons that you can add to your social media that will say, like, one of the ones I did was, it's called, I think called Helicopter. I think it's called Helicopter, where you're like, if you give me your email, you get 1 entry. If you give me your email and like my page, you get 2 entries. If you give me your email, like my page, and give me a review, you get 3 entries, and we're giving away this gift basket. So you're getting things of value from them. They must like your page. They must do this or that to win the prize. So there's, if you have booze in it, obviously, I wouldn't put booze. I wouldn't put it, stay away from alcohol. Stay away from any kind of regulatory thing. It's just going to complicate your life. Is there an age restriction? Do you have disclaimers like this picture might not represent everything I'm giving away. You know, all that fine print stuff, you might have it included. Come to my website for full details. Oh, not only are they going to come to your website for full details, they're going to come to your website. And on your website, now they're in your world and they're like, oh, I didn't know that this business that's selling me X also sells Y. Now I know this business more. You're covering your butt legally more. So that's that. I'm realizing like I'm barely through the presentation, so I'm gonna get back to that. What's the difference between tagging someone and hashtagging someone on Instagram? So tagging someone, you use the @ symbol and @ Robert Trent. Like, I took a great SBDC, @ SBDC, whatever, Sierra SBDC class about e-commerce, about social media. Thank you @ Robert Trent for teaching the class. And then I'll be like, oh, someone tagged me. Cool, now I'm gonna go back and say, thank you, Foothill Mercantile, for attending the class. It was, I can't wait to try your fudge. And that's like this kind of this sharing the love kind of thing that is super powerful. If you were to say, Foothill Mercantile just launched our e-commerce store. We're so happy about it. It was a great picture, maybe some fudge, and then your hashtag fudge, hashtag small town business, hashtag Grass Valley. Then someone from, let's say, from Monterey, they're like, honey, let's go to Grass Valley for the weekend. And they're like, okay, I'll go on Instagram and say hashtag Grass Valley, and then you're gonna show up as like, oh my God, there's this awesome fudge store on Grass Valley. So it's anyone in the great World Wide Web that searches that hashtag may see your post. But if you tag someone using the @ symbol, then that person sees the post and it may show up in front of, like, if I get tagged, it may show up on my page. And so I have my friends, and my friends might see it. People have different privacy settings where it's like, no way, if someone tags me, do not show up on front of my friends or on my business, because what happens if it's inappropriate, or I don't want to be associated with that person. So that's that. I know there's all kinds of juicy stuff in this presentation, so I'm going to get back to it. Again, you will get a copy of it, and I'm going to barrel through this. You will get a copy of it. It is clickable. So, and once again, if you want to ask something or interrupt me, just unmute yourself. This is Google Keyword Planner. This is, I would say, advanced, or at least intermediate. You can dig into this. It shows you like what people are searching for. So if you are a chiropractor, for example, and are people searching for lower back pain to get a chiropractor? Are they searching for, here's my specialty? What are they searching for? You can use this tool to say it's back pain is way more popular than lower back pain. And the reason why Google provides this tool is because they want you to advertise with them. So you're using an advertising tool to get an idea of what people are searching for. So if people are searching for lower back pain, then on your website and on your post, you are now informed to say, in the title of my post, I'm going to say, lower back pain, been dragging you down, ? Yada, yada, yada. So you want to put yourself inside of your customer and say, what are they looking for? What words are they going to be looking for to find me, my product, my business? And use those keywords in your post. The same thing with the hashtag. Like if you say hashtag funniest joke about peanuts I've ever heard, no one is searching for that. No one is going to search for that. If you're selling, peanuts, no one's going to search for that. But if it, so what are people going to search for? And use that in your hashtag and your keywords and your words. So there's a bunch of videos. I'm not going to torture you with these videos, and we don't have time to watch these videos. This link gets you to a class, a bunch of videos about using Google Analytics. It's from Google, and it will show you, like, how I said earlier, like, you can find out how much money that people make from this Google Analytics. From your, it shows you how to get that information. I will say that many of you hopefully have a website to use Google Analytics. There's a little bit piece of code you can get and put in your website that helps you track all these things and lets you get in-depth knowledge about who's coming to your website. If you are a total beginner, you may need help from your webmaster to do this. If you're intermediate, you could probably handle it yourself. So this is a link to Google and a whole series of classes. This, someone asked about insights and analytics on Facebook. When you're on your web page, on your Facebook page, sorry, it may not be right here. And again, this is your business page, not your personal page. You'll see a bar up here that says insights, hopefully, or like over around here, it might say like more tools. Dig around, you'll find it. This is how you access your insights on your Facebook page. And once you look at this, here's a sub menu. You can see on this is your main dashboard, how many page views, how many page likes, how many engagement is super important. And it shows you these graphs are days of the week. And you're like, oh, there was a spike here. What happened? Why did I get a lot of activity here? Oh, that's when I posted about this. Maybe it was controversial. Maybe it was topical. Maybe it was a big sale. Maybe it was a big announcement. Well, what was that? And then do more of that. If that worked for you, do more of it. Wow, like page views on this particular, I don't know why mobile, and I don't know what the search was, what this is related to, but page views was down, but the reach was way up. Awesome. That's great. So it's hard to make sense of all this, but you start clicking on all these, and then you can drill down more and more and more and more, and you get your analytics. If you are doing ads, there's also analytics on that specific ad and performance on that ad. So that's how you access it. Let's see. There's something about Instagram. If you have good pictures and you want a younger slightly younger audience or very younger audience than Facebook. Instagram is where it's at. You need good images. This talks about the analytics in Instagram. And then this video is a 3-minute video, and it really is just like, all right, so what? You got the Google Analytics, you got the Facebook Analytics, you have your reports. What the heck do you do with all that information? And in 3 minutes, this woman succinctly explains that. So when you get the presentation, you can click on the video and enjoy. So back to the whole concept of this presentation about it being a toolbox and being more than just like, okay, I'm on Facebook, I'm done. It's not really like that. There's all these third-party softwares you can utilize. We talked about Hootsuite, but there's other like real-time media monitoring. This is like a Google alert. Every time a business of mine is mentioned in the media, I get an email saying it was mentioned and a link to the article. This is also helpful if you have intellectual property, trademarks, things like that. I'll get to that question in a bit. You know, if someone's violating your trademark, you want to know about it, and you don't have time to look at the Chicago Tribune. You're just not going to do that, but you'll know if the Chicago Tribune, someone used your trademark. Graphics are so important. You shouldn't steal graphics. You need to make your own graphics or use graphics that are okay to use. I put this Visco out there because we saw that video. That's mostly filters and things like that. Canva, this whole list, I would say go to Canva. It's not like hiring a professional graphic designer, but it's not like horrible clip art. It's somewhere in between. It's passable as far as graphic design goes. And it's easy, and I have fun with it. You see the graphic where over the right where it's like made with love, and it's a collage. There's Pic Collage is a useful tool. Pixabay is free images. That is awesome. They do this concept of like the artists upload images that you can use, and if you download it, it's like, buy me a cup of coffee, you know, give me a couple bucks. And it's the right thing to do. It's nice to kind of share the love. So that's some resources. Blogs are still a thing. So lots of people have blogs on their websites. Just a whole list of different blogging platforms. Squarespace, and some of these have built-in e-commerce. Podcasts, like I said earlier, that like podcasts, like I said earlier about how the marketing dollars are going to video. Podcasts are totally like the content that people, it's just skyrocketing as far as the content that people like. Surveys are a great way to get that engagement. Like, and you can just say, like, be honest, be vulnerable. You could say, like, I'm creating a new logo. Which one do you like better? And get their feedback. That not only helps you, you are not your customer. It helps you understand your customers, but it also helps them feel enfranchised in your business and related to your business. So like, oh yeah, I helped them create that logo. There's a little voice in their head that's saying that. And that's super helpful for customer loyalty and just getting them engaged in your brand. Integration with widgets and plugins, it's a little bit intermediate. or advanced. There's something called Zapier, where if you have a workflow where you're like, I post on social media using a Hootsuite, and there's a link to Hootsuite. Someone asked about that. There is a link to Hootsuite on this presentation. I post to social media, and then I also put it on my blog, and I also put it in my e-newsletter, and all that stuff takes time. Zapier is like, oh, we take your WordPress and we hook it to your MailChimp, and then we hook it to your this other thing, to your customer relationship database, and it automates things. So there's all these different apps can talk to each other. It saves a lot of time. You see these share buttons on websites, like share my post, share this, share that on your website. These social share buttons is a plugin for your website. I mentioned Eventbrite. Events, even if they're free, putting them on Eventbrite, their search engine optimization is awesome. So even if you have a free event, it doesn't cost you anything, you take the time to put it on Eventbrite, all of a sudden people that are visiting your area are like, things to do in this area, your event comes up because it's on Eventbrite, and then it clicks through to your website. Oh, we're at the end, yay. Okay, got a minute to spare. We have some questions. I like to end around on time, but I got some time to spare. Oh yeah, Linda said she'll leave the presentation and will be available. We have a couple of minutes for question and answer. What do you say? Anybody?
Hi, it's Ron. So as far as images, is Google Images free game?
Okay, I am going to, yeah, see it, Julia. I'm going to share my screen and show you a quick tip. I'm going to just do flowers again here. I'm searching for flowers. I click on images, and I see all these images of flowers. If you grab these images, you're most likely stealing and copyright infringement. A way around that is you go to Tools over here, and then User Rights. And you see labeled for reuse. All these images up here are just ads. But all of these images down here are fair game. And you can use those for free. The person that uploaded this has labeled it. You're assuming they have the copyright, and they have labeled it that anyone can use it. I'll take this photo, for example. It's from a website called Good Free Photos. I've never used that site before. I could just right mouse click this and save the image. But if I go to Good Free Photos, it's saying free photos, usually give me all photos on the site are public domain. Please consider giving credit for it. And that's, again, best practices, the right thing to do. But that's the way that I get images that I know I'm not infringing on people's copyrights. And that's definitely best practices. So was that too fast? Did you get that?
That was great, thank you.
Pixabay is a great one. And Wiki Wiki, like Wikipedia, Wikimedia is another great site. They often require you to include photo credits. Anyone else? Well, cool. While I was on that whole thing about Google Business, if you would be so kind to go to a Google search and search Sierra SBDC and write a review, that would be wonderful. If you're really, really, really feeling motivated and you want to go to Sierra Commons, search that in Google and give us a review. I'd love it. And I will do my best to reciprocate. So thank you all. You will be getting the presentation and you will also be getting a survey from the SBDC. So please fill that out. And I always like the feedback. It teaches me how to do a better job at what I do. So thank you all, and we'll be seeing you.